What's up, everybody? It's me, Jonas, and I'm here today to go over how some can see two completely different rifles to still be exactly the same when you're inspecting them and looking at them, even though they're completely different. So, Exhibit A here is a Winchester Model 9422 lever action or cowboy action. Some people say it. Rifle. It's worked by its magazine tube here is fed through its little gate right here. When you slide out its push rod, which has its spring in here that keeps the 22 Magnum ammunition fed down to its feeding mechanism down here. And though I've had this all my life, I've never taken it apart, and I still take it to a professional. Even though we are trained to be professionals, I am still not a professional. So if anything happens to this thing, it's still right now. It's still going to the shop. But because quite frankly, it's got so many steps just in feeding this round back out of this tube, and then being lifted up with this elevator into the bolt, and then cycle forward. And that, in that single swoop, comes most of your malfunction, which is most of the time short stroking it, whether it's not coming down far enough and feeding around all the way back to the elevator to get it lifted up, or it's not closing the action all the way. Because, you know, the other day I was sitting here telling myself, it's spitting fire in your face, what's going on? But I was short stroking, so I was just hanging up like that right there, just leaving that bolt back enough that I was getting hot flashes. But anyhow, the biggest thing with this is cleanliness. The chamfer inside here, this is where they start to get similar though. The chamfer inside here causes a lot of if your elevator is not picking the round all the way up and feeding it all the way up, or if the chamfer's got a little chick in it, like a little chip, it'll catch the front end of your round, and it'll not want to close all the way. So you'll get that short stroke that's caused by this chamfer in here. Now I say that over the chamfer and everything because even though this Tika 655, I believe it is completely different because it's box fed and it's bolt action, and it works off a push feed instead of that feed pawl extractor pulling the round from the feed tube. Its failures to lock, etc., like with the 22 lever action there, can come a lot off of this chamfer on the inside here at the edge of your chamber where your chamber is. If it's chipped in any sort of way, it can grab. Another way that these things can be seen as still completely different rifles and differences with, but I still see them as the same, is their magazine. Though this one isn't part of the rifle, it's not mounted to the assembly, it still does have this spring, and this is the biggest thing with your springs. But overall,